Breathe in. Breathe out. I said to my mom yesterday that I felt like I had been holding my breath and not realized it until I started breathing again. Obviously, that's not true. I didn't go days, months, years without breathing. But I am breathing more lightly and more fully. The thought that occurred to me as I hit the streets in Northampton yesterday for that count every vote action that had already been planned, as I was sweating into my clerical collar in the unseasonably warm weather, was, now is the winter of our discontent made glorious summer by the sun of York, and all the clouds that lowered upon our house in the deep bosom of the ocean buried. Now were our brows bound with victorious wreaths, our bruised arms hung up for monuments, our stern alarums changed to merry meetings, our dreadful marches to delightful measures. Of course, that's the beginning of a Shakespeare history play, and it doesn't get happier from there, right? That's the opening to Richard III. And I'm not saying that I am Richard or that Joe Biden is King Edward, but what came to me is that after 4 years of Trump, I am looking forward to being dissatisfied by Biden's presidency. At best, the office he has inherited is beset with impossible situations. I don't expect him to be a savior. I do expect that he actually cares about being accountable to the people of this country, which will be a nice change. I don't mean to rain on anyone's parade. If you are celebrating this win, as I am, go for it. It is a win for so many organizers, for those who got people to turn up in record-breaking numbers, those who phone banked and called and texted and wrote postcards. It is a huge win for Black, Indigenous, and Asian organizers who led the way in voter engagement work. It is a win to see Kamala Harris, first woman, first Black person, first South Asian person in the role of vice president. It is a win and a relief to remove such a dangerous and compassionless person as Donald Trump from power. And I'll be more relieved when Trump actually vacates the office. If this is a win for you, please celebrate. You will need your joy for what comes next. Because nothing is actually fixed or rebuilt. The large numbers of people who voted for overt white supremacy show us this. We have a lot of work to do, and everybody gets a piece of it. For those of us who are white, who are straight, who are cisgender, who have enough money, who are male, who are currently able-bodied, our work is upon us. Everyone is responsible for feeding the joy, the imagination, the possibility of a just future. But those of us who have access to power in the larger system are responsible for using it to tear down the walls we have built. I'm talking walls between borders, walls of prisons and detention centers, and the walls of individualism that tell us we don't need each other to survive. This election was built on movement voters, calling out for universal health care, renewable energy, defunding the police and investing in communities. That is where this win came from. And it's up to us to remind our newly elected president and vice president that we still believe in the dream of beloved community and are working to make it a reality. The work of building beloved community is the same as it was last week, but the obstacles are better. Calls for unity that would ask poor people to wait until the middle and wealthy classes have been satisfied, that are content with gay marriage but ignore trans rights, that pump more dollars into police departments in the name of reform at the expense of the rest of the budget. They're not going to work this time around. Unity does not sacrifice the people on the margins to feed the people in the middle. This time around, more of us are learning that all of us need all of us to make it. That's what the Reverend Teresa Soto says. Or as the video we've just watched says, everyone is essential. So what we're not going to do, if all of us need all of us to make it, is to protect the feelings of those who are losing some power instead of protecting the lives of those whose rights and very survival were on the ballot. I'm not telling you to throw anyone away. We can't do that, even those whose ballot looked opposite of yours. But I think we need to watch which way our care flows. I grew up with the saying, friends don't let friends drive drunk. It's time that we start working on friends don't let friends perpetuate racism. Because racism not being a deal breaker is how racism works. And the same goes for any other form of oppression. If you are not ending it in yourself and in the culture, you are spreading it, especially when you are on the side with the power. Wouldn't you rather spread something else? Wouldn't you rather spread joy and hope and possibility? Wouldn't you rather share a dream for the future and then work for it in community? Oh, my beloved congregation, we can do this. I believe in a world of justice and liberation, where everyone has enough to eat and a safe place to live and meaning and purpose in their lives. This election is not an ending. It's a beginning. What we're beginning is up to us.